Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna do supper, and it's something that I've never done before, but I was looking through this fall recipes Southern Living magazine, and I found on page 46 and 47 this, it's called beef stew pot pies. So I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. It calls for sirloin steak, and I don't have sirloin steak, and I didn't want to pay for sirloin steak, but I did buy a roast on our last grocery haul, and we ate some of it, and what's left of it is what I'm going to use in place of the sirloin, and it's already cooked. So I'm gonna just throw it in there and get it hot, and then go on with the rest of it. The only other thing I'm gonna tweak is it calls for 2 cups of frozen cubed hash brown potatoes. I didn't go buy that because I always have fresh potatoes on hand, so I just grabbed a small potato and I just cut it up in little diced small pieces. And so we're gonna do that instead. So I'm gonna make this. It says once you get it all done, then you just, it's like goes in the oven for like 45 minutes. And it is freezing cold outside today. And I had car trouble yesterday, and my car spent the night in the Walmart parking lot. And Jason is having to go in just a little bit and meet the tow truck to tow it to our house. So that's fun. So he's not super thrilled about that, obviously. And he's gonna be freezing cold. He's worked all day. He had to be at work at 4 this morning. So I'm sure he probably would like to come home to a nice, hot, hearty meal. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do it in my cast iron skillet. So let's go over to the stove and let's start throwing it together. Again, I'm totally tweaking it kind of on the fly as we go and as to what I have on hand. So we'll see what we come up with. So in this skillet, I have 2 tablespoons of butter melting. And to that, we're gonna get our leftover roast that I just kind of roughly chopped it up because it's cold from the refrigerator, and get it in here. Now, if it was the sirloin, you would have to cook it because it would be raw meat, and cook it undisturbed, but this is already cooked, so I just want to get it hot and, you know, make it softer, and I don't know. And then once we give it a chance to kind of get soft and warm, we're going to take it out of the skillet. Willow, go lay down. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And also, I mean, it had the gravy in it, the brown gravy that I had made to go with it. It was in there with it. I didn't try to separate them. Just extra flavor. So we're going to take this roast out. I just want it to be like, you know, falling apart, because I don't want, when you take a bite, I don't want it to be like a big chunk of meat. I want it to be, you know, mixed in with everything else. And it doesn't look like a lot of meat, and really it isn't a lot of meat. The recipe calls for 2 pounds of the sirloin, but you have to remember, like, other things are going to go into this skillet as well, so I can't put a lot because it will overflow. All right, so it says do not wipe the skillet clean. And then we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of butter and get that melted into the skillet. And I got the oven heating to 375. I'll turn this down a little bit. And then to this, I'm going to add, what does it say? Flour, tomato paste, and garlic. So roughly 2 tablespoons of garlic. And then it says 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, but my tablespoon won't fit down in the can. So we're going to do a half at a time. So that's half, 1, 1.5, 2, and 1/3 of a cup of flour. And whisk all of this together. and make a huge mess. It says until it starts to darken. So in other words, cook your flour. And then to this, you are going to add in slowly 2.5 cups of beef broth. I don't know why I'm doing this left-handed. Willow, you're gonna have to wait. I hope this turned out okay. All right, so it says gradually whisk in the broth, bring it to a simmer over medium heat, cook stirring often until it is thickened about 2 minutes. All right, so it's thickened. I've gathered my other ingredients. So it says to remove it from the heat. I'm just gonna turn the heat off. And then you're gonna stir in everything else. So you need to stir in, let me see, Worcestershire sauce, which is 2 tablespoons. And thyme, which is 2 teaspoons. One, 2. Worcestershire sauce, thyme, and mixed veggies. It calls for 2 10-ounce packages, but by the time I get all this stuff in here, I'm not gonna be able to fit it. So I'm only gonna do 1 package of frozen mixed vegetables, and this one is a 12-ounce package. This is carrots, green beans, corn, and peas. I think that's probably plenty. The potatoes. Put the meat back in. Guys, I hope this works. If this doesn't, I'm gonna be so sad. And salt. It says to do 1.5 teaspoons, but that seems like a lot. So I'm not going to do that. We can always salt our plates if we want to. So just to get this all stirred in and mixed in. Okay. So then the next step is to put the puff pastry over the top, and I just did 1 puff pastry sheet and I just rolled it out with the rolling pin. We are just going to lay it right here, and it says to just tuck it in. Skillet is hot. And then it says with your kitchen shears, do that. And then we're gonna put it in the oven at 375 for 15 minutes and then bump it down to 350 and continue for 30 to 35 minutes. Oh, I gotta brush the top with an egg wash first. A little egg wash. Then I'm just gonna put it in the oven, but I'm gonna put a cookie sheet on the rack below it so that if it bubbles over, then the cookie sheet will catch it and not make a huge mess in the oven. Okay, 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna clean all this stuff up, and then at the end of 15, we gotta drop it to 350 and bake another 30. Well, it's done. I hope it tastes good. But it's hot and warm, beefy, buttery. I guess we'll see. Well, between Jason and I, we ate just slightly more than half of it. It was pretty good. It wasn't horrible. He ate seconds. He said he liked it. I would prefer hash over this, but it was good. It was hot on a cold day. So that's gonna do it for this one. See y'all in the next one. Love ya. Bye.